In this lesson, we're going to go over idea creation and thumbnails for our expression test. In this image here, you see some pretty tied down expressions. They're colored and they're kind of finalized, but we don't need to go as in depth. We just kind of need a plan for what we're going to translate into 3D directly.
So what an expression test is, it's used to explore a character and find out what poses and types of motion make them look appealing. So it's finding out what makes your character tick. You can do this for any character. You can do it for a 2D character, you can do it for a 3D character, you can do it for a stop motion character. But it's just a way to explore and have fun and see what poses and emotions your character can go through and what you can do to make them the most appealing for a future production, for a shot, or you can just do this to have fun. And a big part of that is planning out your emotion and getting an idea of what kind of character you're going to be using. I have chosen a character that looks like this, the drawings on the screen, and I've drawn out a couple expressions for this character to go through and then go back to default and then loop through them again. So we're going to make a completely loopable animation that goes on forever, that you can look at to your heart's content, and you'll be able to show to your friends, put it on your reel, show it to a teacher for feedback, and learn animation at the same time. So I've kind of drawn out a couple expressions. I have a surprise expression here and an angry expression, then an angry kind of shocked expression, and then a happy expression, and then content expression, and then we go back to the T-pose default expression that the rig has. What this will do is that it'll tell me, okay, what's the style of this character? Is it cartoony? Is it realistic? Is it super pushed? Or is it more kind of grounded in physicality? It'll show me all of those things. And I've done this expression test already. And if we look at it, we go through some emotions and we go back to default and it keeps looping. And we're going to explore how that character goes through these emotions in a natural way, even though it's just a pose and a pose and a pose and a pose. We have our default, then we go to a shocked, a little bit more surprised. Then she says, "What?" And then we go to more surprised again. And then she's like, "Haha." And then she smiles. She's more content. And then she shakes her head and she's back to default. And then we go through it again. And it's loopable forever and ever and ever. It's very, very easy to do. I'm going to show you how to animate this. You can choose any expressions you want. Make sure to choose some more specific emotions than just like happy, angry. You can choose like content. Choose mad and like mad and sad and stressed, like this. Like you can see it kind of in the brows. And even between these two expressions, he's saying, "What?" You know? And we're using also the principles of animation to get through this. So here you can see kind of the head squashing a little as an antic and then goes into this. And then you can see the shoulders coming up, creating a more squashed pose from the body. And then we stretch the head up and then we squash it again to get some variety, and we'll go through those. So when we're choosing a character rig, I try to look for stuff that has higher fidelity and has really appealing shapes to it. So I helped make this one myself, which I'll be using for the course. But you can kind of tell when you're kind of moving the mouth corners, you get this pinch shape that normally happens in the cheeks. And you have higher fidelity, so you can control cheeks. I'm able to control even this jawline area. I'm able to bring the jaw down in an appealing way. I'm able to move the tongue and the teeth even. So I'm able to rotate them and move them. I'm even able to make a blink. I'm able to do all these things with the rig that allows me to get an expression down and really appealing. The harder your rig is to use, or the less appealing it is, the harder it will be to make your animation look good. I've posted a link in the course where you can find a bunch of rigs, whether paid or free. You can also buy this rig. I'll post a link to that if you want to follow along directly. But it's very important to choose a good rig. We're not even using the full body. There are full body controls, but we're not going to be using them. We're going to be using maybe like a couple chest controls. We're not going to really be using the arms. We're not going to be using the legs that much. We can kind of control stuff that works together really well. So if you can make a smile, and then if you bring the jaw down, what does that look like? Does it look decent? If it does, then great. You'll have like a much easier time instead of kind of trying to fight the rig. You definitely don't want to fight the rig.
We've just explored a character and some expressions and some thumbnails to plan out our expression test in 3D. So in the next lesson, I'm going to be going over a character rig and kind of what that entails.